Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we continue our exploration of the new maps as Capoch, playing as the Georgians in red, prepares to take on Hera, playing as the Japanese in blue on Karsts. I'm going to zoom out so we can all appreciate and take a look at the new map, which we'll explore in a second. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, get their economies all set up because, like yesterday's game, we are on Empire Wars, which I'll explain again once we get into the game, and probably try to get their butts up to Castle Age after maybe, hopefully, some Feudal Age shenanigans. Why don't we take an opportunity to take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today. Now, the Georgians are a cavalry-centric civilization with some pretty cool economic bonuses. To start with, all of their mounted units automatically regenerate HP and can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space, both of which help them mass their unique unit, the Manaspa. This is a heavily armored cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units nearby. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, I'm trying to look on the minimap for any high ground. Very important for the Georgians to take the high ground, since all Georgian units and buildings take 40% less damage when fighting downhill compared to the usual 25. Now, just like yesterday's game, because we're in Empire Wars and because the economies are already starting with 28 villagers apiece, action has already begun before I've even gotten through my Civ intro. Now, to help the Georgians build as big and powerful an army as possible, they do start the game with a free mule cart. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers within an 8-tile radius by 10%, and their economy can be much harder to raid because repairing structures does cost 25% fewer resources, and their defensive structures, which by the way includes their town centers, can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. Now, speaking of pretty darn cool towers, let's take a look at the Japanese in blue, a civilization that focuses on its infantry. The Japanese have access to all infantry units with all barracks and blacksmith upgrades, and all of their infantry units attack 33% faster starting in Feudal. Oh man, this one spearman. I do not envy this one spearman as he runs away from the archers. Are we about to have the first kill of the game? Yes, we are, as our Japanese archers gun down that one spearman Hera trying to bust his way in here. We'll see whether or not he can. In any event, having access to all these upgrades, having access to a feature that allows their infantry, permits, or rather, what's the word I'm looking for? Just makes their infantry attack 33% faster. All of that is great news for the unique unit of the Japanese, the Samurai. This is an overall medium infantry unit with a lightning fast attack and a pretty cool, pretty big bonus against other unique units. Now, to support their infantry on the battlefield, Japanese cavalry archers do come with a small attack bonus against archers, and their trebs can be upgraded to fire faster and unpack and pack up faster. Their towers, by the way, much like the Svan towers of the Georgians, come with a cool feature. Yasima, in this case, they can be upgraded to fire 2 extra arrows. Now, to help save the resources to pay for their military endeavors out on the map, Japanese mills, lumber camps, mining camps, they're all half price. Buy one, get one free. Capoch must be dreaming of Castle Age because he is double walling his base right now. Let's take a look at where his resources, and then let's take a look at the map, because Karsts, how do I put this? This is going to be a risky map for players, I think, after I've seen the map itself. Everyone starts with a little bit of gold and a little bit of stone, very much in the forward position for our Georgian. Our Japanese, look at this, already creating a massive wall off. Oh, and now he's trapped. Now, was this on purpose? Oh, now he's trapped. These 3 scouts in here. Hera channeling his inner Viper. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have any units here. Oh, no, never mind. Yes, he does, to take advantage of this. Can they reach from over here? Yeah, they can. That is 3 dead units for our Japanese. Let's keep an eye on this. Then we'll get into the map. This is just way too much fun to not look at. By the way, where's the 3rd unit? Oh, yeah, the Age of Empires clumping lately has just been absolutely atrocious on the eyes. Okay, now that the incursion has been dealt with in grand fashion by our Japanese, as I was saying, everyone starts with a little bit of gold, a little bit of stone, But then what you'll notice, these rock formation, which are the Karsts, the map is named after, they all come with a few resources, a little bit of gold, a little bit of stone, all of them. So players are going to be having to channel their inner nomads as they go from location to location. There's not exactly a lot of resources clumped in one location, and the clumps are not that big, and they are pretty widely dispersed, which, as always, inures to the benefit of the player whose lumber camp, mining camp, can be attached to the back of a donkey and hauled left, right, and center. Wolf springs into action to the south. Scout should be able to get a, I was going to say the 5th, but Hera already has a 5th kill. Now he's going to have a 6th kill in a second, as he has taken firm control of this map. Now there's a lot of space for building structures. And take a look at the right side of the map. There's so many resources. Let's take a look at the actual resource count. 74,000 gold, 21,000 stone. That is a ridiculous amount of resources. Unfortunately, like I said, they're in small little clumps. And so that's the first thing I wanted to cover, is the actual map itself, as Hera might be overstaying his welcome here. The castle is at 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. I feel like an auctioneer sometimes. Sold to the Georgians for 650 wood. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was so good right up until I screwed up the wood and the stone part. But in any event, we are, as I mentioned, on Empire Wars. More and more players are practicing it. Why? Because of the Red Bull Wololo El Reinado tournament, which I believe is happening in October in España. And so that will be an Empire Wars tournament where everyone's Elos in Empire Wars have been reset. Okay, I don't care what's happening on the map. We're watching this. Everyone's Elo on Empire Wars the Elos have been reset, and so the players are all starting from scratch. Hera happy to let this train happen here. Oh no, he's gonna attract a 3rd. Oh my god. And so the players are all practicing Empire Wars, because what happens is at July 28th of this year, the Elos will get frozen, and the top 4 players with the highest, I should say the top 4, the players with the 4 highest Elos in Empire Wars will get invited to Spain to a cool hilltop, mountaintop castle. Oh my goodness. What an absolute crazy situation here. Oh no. Now they're gonna go after these? Okay, we can't spend all night looking at these guys. Hera, by the way, 9 kills to 0 at the moment. And so that's why you'll see a lot of Empire Wars content in the Age of Empires world at the moment. Yours truly included. By the way, this is a matchup, Georgians Japanese, that we saw a few weeks ago, where Hera was playing also the Japanese. Now, it wasn't Empire Wars, it wasn't on a new map, it was just your standard random map Arabia, and Hera was struggling seriously. I mean, I would say spoiler alert, but the game's like 2.5, 3 weeks old maybe, so I don't know that spoiler alert is really necessary at this point. But I believe it was against Classic Pro, who played as the Georgians, went heavy on the Manaspas, and Hera went heavy on the foot archers and just got absolutely decimated. And so at the moment, investing in Thumbring as well, is history going to repeat itself? 2 mangonels are moving forward for our Georgian. The splits on these Japanese crossbows is insane. Okay, he does take 1, 2 giant volleys, 3 giant volleys, 4. Oh, that was so impressive by Hera right up until that happened. But you know what? Now he's got fewer units, meaning fewer units to micro, and he's gotten rid of the villagers that are repairing the mangonel. But unfortunately for him, 9 more pop out of the town center. He's gonna go after those as well. He's bringing yet another mangonel, and this is not a good trade so far for Hera at all. He hasn't gotten a single Georgian mangonel. Of course, right as I say that, gets the first. His mangonel gets the second. No villager for Hera to repair. Mutually assured destruction here. Absolute crazy. series of events, and all of a sudden the kill count went from 9 to 0 to 24 to 21. And by the way, where are my dire wolves? 2 kills on you. Okay, all right. So we'll have seen that in picture. I am never one to miss out on Mother Nature when she lashes out at the players for trying to take her minerals and destroying her lands with wildfires and mangonels and castles, deforesting and all that stuff. Players are disengaged. Might be a good time for us to take a look at what is in fact going on around the map. 60 villagers to 65 for our Georgian, who is also down in total army count. What is his army like? He's going, okay, so he is going Manaspas, has not revealed them yet, so Hera has no clue what's coming. He knows there's a castle, he knows there's a mangonel. Okay, he knows there was a mangonel. He sees a stable, and now the Manaspas are coming out. What are their upgrades? +1, +2, 4 pierce armor. Wololo's going down. 2 Manaspas to the north. Destroy that mangonel in the blink of an eye. Monks are dying, but 3 conversions is pretty darn bad out of 13 units. Remember, every conversion of a unit is an actual 2-unit swing. Whereas you had 13 to 0, now you've got 10 to 3, which is a 6-unit swing for our Georgian, who tucks tail and runs the hell away. But you know what? He got a lot of the expensive units, the mangonels, the monks. Hera's been knocked down to a single monk, a single scout. Where is the scout? Okay, patrolling, exploring the map for relics. But the majority of his army is crossbows. Crossbows that, in all fairness, attack on a 7 against a unit with 4 armor. The one fearful thing for our Georgian is the absolute terrible HP of the Manaspa. It packs a punch, especially when you clump 7 or more. It used to be 5 or more. Now it's in groups of 7. So with 11, you get a +1 attack, which is why you'll see the Manaspas are at a +1, even though at the top left of your screen, you'll see forging has not even been researched. Just now getting husbandry, that's very sorry. The last thing you want to do is charge into a body of monks at the slowest rate possible. That might explain why there were 3 conversions. But stats-wise, the biggest drawback of the Manaspa is its absolute terrible HP. By the way, this is 95 HP with bloodlines. So I believe the base model is obviously 75, and then that jumps up to 90 if you go elite. Is any player going to Imperial? Looks like Hera's kind of starting to get the food. He has placed a castle. Red has seen the castle as it begins firing away at this one unfortunate house. So whoever lives there, sorry. Town center next to 3 patches of gold. But as I said, in my opinion, this map will force players to become a little bit more nomadic. It will also force players to have to scout, because the last thing you want to do is discover that your opponent has been mining out the entire eastern portion of the map while you've been focused on headbutting the direct center. And so both players here would do well to scout. Hera, I think, with the monk, probably looking for relics, as opposed to villagers who are gathering resources. Oh, how sour is this? The scout just 1 tile away from discovering the town center. We got a bunch of Manaspas. Capoch is responding, 15 of them, so they will have +2 now, if I'm not mistaken. There you go, +2. We'll keep an eye on those. We'll see how much they can get done. The more curious question is, what will happen in round 2 of Georgian mangonel versus Japanese crossbows? So far, oh my goodness. So far, the mangonels are absolutely wrecking that. You know, we saw Hera with the Celtic mangonels, the onagers, the siege onagers, taking on Urumi swordsmen, and he was pancaking them left, right, and center. Now it is his turn. The pendulum has swung the other way. Now the Manaspa is a great raiding unit if you keep them clumped, but remember, when 7 or more of them join, it's +1, because there's only 6 here within a 15 tile radius. And by the way, that's a massive radius, 15 tiles. But look at that, there's only 6, so now they've gone down to +0. Random scout does have 5 kills. How many of those are villagers? 4 of them are villagers, but ultimately does bite the dust of the town center. These 5 also should have no attack upgrades whatsoever. Our Georgian has rushed up to Imperial. I thought Hera would have been first with that 800 gold, 800 food, 400 gold. But no, it is our Georgian who might want to start getting out some trebs with that first mover advantage. Hera, fearing the reprisals from the Manaspas, places a defensive castle to help stop. Again, their HP is really what betrays them in the end. Why are there no trebs coming out of these castles? He's got the wood for it. He's got the wood for one treb. What is he using his wood for? More farms. Now is not the moment for farms. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I do apologize. I thought he was already an Imperial. It's Hera who's an Imperial. So it was, in fact, Hera who reached Imperial first. Capoch now reaching it. And, of course, immediately pops out a treb. I apologize for that massive brain fart. 2 Manaspas, 3 kills, crossbows. So Hera is investing in block printing to increase the range of the monk to 12, among other things. Will he invest in Arbalest? He is going up to 30 crossbows. He did just get chemistry. So attack-wise, these crossbows are fully upgraded. Unfortunately for Capoch, the upgrade to go Elite Manaspa is ridiculously expensive. I think it's... Yeah, I've already embarrassed myself once this game with not realizing who was in Imperial Age. Where are you going, Mr. Treb? I believe, don't quote me, it's something like 1,000 food and then between 500 and 800 gold. I should know these things. The costs of unique techs, I think I've got pretty down pat, but the cost to go up to Elite, you know, life's a work in progress. What can you get? Not to get too philosophical. Castle down. Manaspas now feel this is their moment. In any event, it's 4 figures of resources. He splits them up into 3 attack groups. Some go after the monk. A bunch get converted. Trebs are all down and retreat. The Manaspas, why the hell not? The Trebs are gone. The castles are safe. You're repairing them with those villagers and that Civ feature that allows you to spend 25% less stone on doing so. And the last you saw, your opponent has crossbows, but in 18 seconds, those crossbows are going to be arbalests. And by the way, as much as I said the Japanese are an infantry civilization, we are about to see arbalests because their archer line is pristine. They have access to every single archery range, blacksmith, university upgrade in the game for their archers. The only thing they don't have for their foot archers is let's see this battle. The only thing they don't have for their foot archers is any kind of civ feature or bonus, like the Ethiopians, for example, who attack faster, or the Vikings with Boggs Vagar, who add a +1 attack. We are getting Cataperuto, so the Trebs will pack and unpack 4 times faster. They'll fire 33% faster. If you haven't seen Cataperuto Trebs in action, it is an absolute sight to behold. It is an absolute work of art. And this is what I was talking about, forcing players to become nomads and forcing players. Now, luckily, the Japanese are lumber camps, mining camps, all of that stuff. They're all half price. So a little bit easier on the wallet here for our Japanese player. Whereas for our Georgian player, he can just move his donkeys, go from one patch to the other. Manassa's moving down to the left, but the real battle is here. What will happen? Are these still basic Manaspas? Yes, they are. There's 38 of them, only 23 here. Where are the other 15? Here's 5. Where's the other 10? Capoch at the... Oh! Oh, to add insult to injury, not only did he send out his Manaspas at the worst possible time, and by the way, I hope Capoch is not working under the assumption that this is the old-timey Manaspa, that you needed 21 of them to get the full attack. This is the new Manaspa. You need 29 to get the full attack, and so he is not close at all. He's at 25, but they're elite. This is the moment to move. He desperately needed those 10 Manaspas. He is now fighting fully upgraded. I mean, not armor-wise, but fully upgraded attack-wise Arbalest. He peels off a few to go south against the Trebuchets, gets a few, meets a bunch of Halberdiers, and runs away to regenerate even more HP. Now, luckily for him, the saving grace in losing all these Manaspas, in getting the Treb, etc., is the Manaspa's not exactly the most gold-intensive unit. 45 gold for that unit, so not the worst loss. Let's watch these guys pack and unpack 4 times faster. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's friggin' disgusting. And by the way, the attack speed jumps down from 10 to 7.5 second delay. It looks like the Manaspas in the rear of the Japanese base have all been cleared up, and now our Georgian is mixing in skirmishers. Oh no. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not great skirmishers, not the worst in the game, but definitely not good. 2 castles are now down. Town center is going to go down. Stable is going to go down. Not that he's training anything. He's going elite skirmisher as well. Capoch, unfortunately for him, I'm trying to click the Manaspas. Of course, I clicked the farm. 2 big mistakes in that engagement. Number 1, he didn't have the 29 Manaspas that you need to max out their attack at a +8. And he peeled off 10 of them. 5 to go here, 5 to go there. What the hell is this random villager doing? So he wasn't first of all, his units weren't as strong as they could have been, and there weren't as many of them as there should have been. So coulda, shoulda, woulda. Those Manaspas should have taken that battle handily with their ridiculous armor. Look at that, 6 armor against a 10 attack means 4 damage. So even with 110 HP, remember they have 90 base and then bloodline, so still not great. Even with 110 HP, taking 4 damage from each archer is pretty good. And now he's engaging into here, but these ridiculously lightning fast attacking Japanese halberdiers are moving to intercept, and Capoch just says, okay, you know what? Okay, you've got halberdiers, you've slaughtered my Manaspas. I'm gonna lose these a bunch of these now. And by the way, unlike the other 2 engagements, there is now nowhere to run. His Manaspas were literally at the edge of the known world, hiding, quivering, waiting for their orders to charge to their deaths. What is the attack speed on this halberdier? 2.25 compared to the usual 3-second delay. So this halberdier is going to shred the Manaspa, even though the Manaspa itself doesn't attack too slow, 1.8-second delay. So it's fast, it hits hard when it's clumped, and its armor allows it to stick around for a while. Unfortunately, like I said, Capoch just made 2... I mean, let me know if you agree or disagree. I think there were 2 mistakes of sending 5 Manaspas down here, 5 Manaspas down here, which left him with, what was it, 25 or so, which is not enough to get the full +4 attack. So they were only at a +3 bonus attack. I should say extra. It's not a bonus attack. It's like an extra attack. And then, yeah, it just, they weren't as strong as they could have been. And he needed those 10. If he had those 10, he could have absolutely overwhelmed that chunk, that clump of arbalests. But you know what? That didn't happen. What happened is Hera stood strong. It looks like a villager battle versus a random halberdier. It looks like the graphics are cutting off this donkey's legs, which is pretty cool. It looks like another halberdier back behind the donkey as well. We're not going to ask too many questions about what that pervy halberdier is doing. And we've got a samurai. So Hera, last game he played Japanese against the Georgians, took a beating from the Manaspa as he went arbalest. In this game, he says, you know what, I'm going to correct what I did wrong. I'm going to add a meat shield, which I don't believe existed last time. And by the way, a meat shield of the samurai as well. So there's that +10 against unique unit armor, which the Manaspa has, being a unique unit. And I'm just going to push, and ultimately his opponent, even though in Imperial Age and early Imperial, Capoch was in a much more dominant position, at least in this part of the map, ultimately Hera withstood the raiding to the left, to the right, plops down no fewer than 3 castles. And this is what I'm talking about, the resources on this map. Hera has how many castles? 6 castles. He had a 7th. And even when he has 7, even when his opponent had 2, so 9 castles, which in a 1v1 is still a ridiculous number of castles, 9 total castles, there's still 14,000 stone left on the map. And by the way, 14,000 plus Hera and Capoch both almost have enough for another castle. So that's like 11 castles and 13,500 stone left. So this is the craziness of this map. But then, you know, what the developers giveth in terms of raw numbers, they taketh by dispersing them, which is why you'll see mining camp, castle, mining camp, castle, donkey cart, no castle. Maybe Capoch should have put castles here. Capoch was playing a more standard game, whereas Hera was trying something new here. On these maps, by the way, everything is new because these are brand new maps. And so I'm very excited to watch the players create metas. As much as us casters like to talk a big game, well, you should have done this. This was a mistake. You did this, was this. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's you, the players, who set the metas. It's you, the players, who dictate how the games actually, you know, turn out and what the developers ultimately decide to do. I don't think the developers listening to anything I'm going to have to say about anything, but I am very much looking forward to this map because it does lend itself to a lot of shenanigans. Like I said, Hera very nomadically exploring the eastern shores of the map. What was Capoch's vision? Has he seen? Yeah, he's also seen the vast majority of the map. Hera has seen just a little bit more. And so with the clump of archers, he was able to push through the center, and these Cataperuto trebs are just ridiculous. By the way, all of this stone is also good for tower pushes, so I'm very much looking forward to this map. 73 Manaspas, 110 Arbalests. The Mangonel play out of the Georgian was absolutely epic. He killed how many crossbows here before, or maybe it was here, somewhere here on this map. He killed a whole bunch of crossbows. Let's take a look at the actual stats. Peak APM for Capoch right at the beginning of the game. Peak APM for Hera. Oh my god, look at that APM. Oh, by the way, 16, 15, 25. So very similar APM. That must have been the, let's go back and see. That must have been the Mangonel battle. And then Hera, just after a little bit of fantastic micro, just took some absolute atrocious balls to the face, and splat went his army. Okay, let's, how much bigger is this? About 9,000? Yeah, that's just under what, 20% bigger economy for the Japanese. He had more relic gold to the 5 relics to 0, 4,000 more wood, a little bit less food, a little bit more gold, and holy moly, not that his castles were very useful. He wasn't really training samurai out of them, except for these two, and he wasn't really getting attacked except for those Manaspas towards the end. But that stone came in real handy. 5 conversions out of 102. Not the greatest. Highest we've seen, 0. Obviously also not great. 40 buildings destroyed by our Japanese. Holy moly. Does this include donkey carts? This must include the mules, right? Otherwise, 40 buildings destroyed. I don't think I remember seeing 40 buildings destroyed, unless it counts, again, farms and donkeys. Farms and donkeys. Welcome to Age of Empires in 2024. But ultimately, the kill count, Capoch gets more kills, just a bit less in terms of economic damage. Just, I think this game really wasn't about whose economy was bigger, who's killed more villagers. This game was really, really boiled down to, I think, like I said, and I'm going to say one final time, those 2 oversights by Capoch where he didn't clump 29 Manaspas, which means, number 1, they are not at their full power. And number 2, he was 10 units short, and he needed those 10 units, especially with the introduction of halberdiers. Because Manaspas, by the way, because of their ridiculous attack speed, 1.8 second delay, compared to a usual halberdier that attacks on 3 second delay, that's almost twice as slow. And so Manaspas, like Leichai, like certain cavalry units, are deceptively good against halberdiers. Now, I would have liked to see a bit of a longer battle between the Japanese halberdier to see how much that quicker attack worked out, but it doesn't really matter. It's Hera who took advantage of that attack, punished it twice. Our Georgian ran away until he could run away no more, and it is with the Arbalest. If it didn't work the first time, Hera rejigged it, recalculated it, rebalanced it, and made it work the second time, because it's with these Arbalests that he took the game, and these ridiculous fun Cataperuto trebs. Hera is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.